Good morning, bro. So I just finished meditation and I really wanted to just capture like this this big switch, this like one thing, this realization that really just takes you from suffering to like actually living your life. Like it's just such a immediate transformation, right? So one thing I'm conscious of is like making this might even take me out of that, right? So that makes sense once I explain it. But the root of it, I'll cut to the chase, the root of it is everything you're imagining, right? So all of those pictures that you see in your head, right? All of the voices, all of the thoughts, mainly the pictures though, for me, none of them are actually real, right? The thing is your body, the body, the body, the whatever determines your bodily state, that reacts to what you see in your head, right? That's why you focus on the breath, because that's not in your head, that's real, right? It's actually like an existential reality at the moment, right? I'm not trying to get into the hologram theory of the universe, but like your breath is actually real. So if you focus on it, you are with reality. But when you focus on your thoughts, you are out of reality, right? So I could just see, like, because I've been speaking to this girl on my phone recently, and like, I could just see, like, imagining, like, hanging out with her, imagining going on a date with her, imagining replying to her. Like, none of it was real, but it was stirring up, like, emotions within me. But, like, one thing that is just the key thing that if you remember it, it takes you straight back to the present moment. You don't even have to try and be present after that. But, like, it's just all that is happening is what is happening right now. That's it. Nothing else is actually happening. Like, it's kind of like if you take a breath and go, and just look around your room, look where you're at, and just listen. Like, you'll be like, oh, this is everything that there is right now. And then you just calm down instantly. Like, it's so instant and quick. And like, people say there are no quick fixes, but like, this is the quickest fix you could ever have. Just shift what you're actually looking at. And I remember this cool YouTube guy was saying like there's a strategy. So like if you're feeling like that and you can't come back to the present, you can't like get out of your imagination, just look at something. Like I'm looking at like a blanket, and just visualize yourself like touching it. Visualize yourself like stroking the texture of that blanket. Boom, you're back into the moment, because you're activating your prefrontal cortex and getting out of your limbic system and like coming back into reality again. So that's another powerful trick. But yeah, man, if you're mentally suffering right now, this is probably why. It's because you're reacting to thoughts again. They're either old thoughts or new ones, which is anxiety, basically. You're trying to because this is the thing that you like, it seems so juicy when like it's in your head. Like some thoughts seem so like attention worthy. So you're like, ah, yeah, fuck presence. Like, let me go into this thought, right? Like that happens all the time. But like use your brain again. Like you have memory for a reason. Remember, basically 24/7 every day, you're thinking these thoughts, right? None of them, like literally 95% of them are completely useless and never manifest into any kind of reality, and they never have any kind of consequence. So in a sense, they are largely useless, but you keep going throughout your day, reacting to those thoughts, non-stop, all day long, every day, even your dreams, just big amplified thoughts that you're completely immersed in, right? You're completely out of touch with reality. And sometimes you have to think, but it's manual thinking that will actually help you out. If you're like, okay, let's consider realistically, if this happens, then this might happen. It's like a manual conscious process, whereas most of the problem is just unconscious running of your mind. So that's not going to help you out, bro. Now, there's one other thing which I think is actually better or equally powerful as this technique, and that is changing your attitude, right? So the problem with your thoughts is you like some of them and you dislike other thoughts, right? So you have like this selective biased mindset, whereas the universe doesn't work in binary polarities. It exists in a binary polarity, but the universe exists in a unity. That's why it's called a universe, right? So the reason you suffer is because you have likes and dislikes. If you loved everything, you wouldn't suffer anymore, right? So it's about your attitude as well. So like if you're having those thoughts that make your heart beat fast, it's like, why are you reacting internally negatively to that thought, right? So you can either put the thoughts aside, or you can just accept absolutely everything. Accept the thoughts, accept the reality, accept positively and dynamically accept everything, right? Then suffering becomes impossible, and you're just gonna be in love with everything. You're gonna have a very fun time, and that is definitely a powerful thing that you can do. But I think it's a little bit easier just to be a bit more present, you know? Like, let's take it in stages, right? You're not trying to jump to being like enlightened, are you? But yeah, man. So yeah, just like try and just, because I'm talking right now to try and help you understand. So even I'm kind of having to think, but these are conscious thoughts. So it's not throwing me off balance. But if you're just losing the present moment and like trying to ignore thoughts, right? Trying to ignore them and pretend they're not real, like pretend they're not there, it's not going to work. You just have to like be like, oh, like it's actually not actually real. Like my hand is real, so let me focus on that. Like my breath is like, my thoughts aren't actually real, so let's just let them go, man. Yeah, man, I will keep that short, so hope that helps.